If you make less than 15 bucks an hour, working 40 hours a week, you're living below the poverty level.
CNN held a presidential town hall with Joe Biden to mark his first 6 months in office. And I'm going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So 3 clips here that I think stand out from this town hall, starting here with the good. So here is Joe Biden's response to a restaurant owner who is struggling to hire people.
Well, let me ask you, because John is looking to hire people. He's got 39 restaurants across the country.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do to help him out? I mean, he's got to get people in.
Well, John, first of all, the thing we did to help John and John's out is provide billions of dollars to make sure they could stay open. Sure. Number one. So you all contributed to making sure John could stay in business. And we should have done that, as we did for other industries. But secondly, John, my guess is that people being $7, $8 an hour plus tips, that's, I think, John, you're going to be finding 15 bucks an hour or more now. But you may pay that already. You may pay that already.
Well, let me ask you, because everywhere I go, there isn't a pretty much a shop in my town, a restaurant or whatever, where there isn't a for hire sign. We were trying to check into the hotel. They couldn't get the rooms cleaned fast enough because they can't find staff. You mentioned something. You said we're going to end the things that may be keeping people back. You think that's the unemployment benefits?
Well, that
expanded?
was argued. It was. I don't think it did much. But the point is, it's argued that because the extended unemployment benefits kept people, they'd rather stay home and not work than go to work.
You don't think it did that?
I see no evidence it had any serious impact on it. But you can argue. Let's assume it did. It's coming to an end. So it's not like we're in a situation where if that was it and it ends, then we're going to see John's going to have no problem. If you make less than 15 bucks an hour, working 40 hours a week, you're living below the poverty level. You're living below the poverty level.
Well,
all right, so I'll get to my main point here on this clip in a second. But first, just to address this continued idea, that this framing that's pushed out by the mainstream press, including Don Lemon here, the idea that potentially unemployment benefits kept people or are keeping people home. Let's say that's the case. Then the issue isn't the unemployment benefits. The issue is low wages. So whenever this issue is discussed, whenever they bring up the fact that people are staying home because they're making too much money on unemployment, the problem there is the fact that their wages are too low. That should always be the direction that this discussion goes. But oftentimes they never add that extra piece onto it. But getting to Biden here, I liked his overall response here to this restaurant owner telling him that, hey, maybe you got to pay people more, 15 bucks an hour. Now, this is why this is a good clip, but not a great clip. Because, of course, Biden is the president. He has the power to do a lot more to try and push a wage increase through. The only reason it wasn't pushed in through the budget reconciliation bill at the beginning of the year is because of the parliamentarian that decided it couldn't go through that bill. But Biden and the VP have the power to overrule the parliamentarian. If they wanted to, they could have put the wage increase in that budget reconciliation bill, but they decided not to. So, Biden only gets partial credit here for some good rhetoric, but otherwise he could be doing a lot more to actually push wage increases through in terms of policy. Next clip, though, let's get to the bad. Here is Biden continuing to defend the filibuster and falsely assuming that Republicans care at all about voting rights.
Why is protecting the filibuster? Is that more important than protecting voting rights, especially for people who fought and died for that?
No, it's not. I want to see the United States Congress, the United States Senate, pass S1 and S4, the John Lewis Act, get them to my desk so I can sign them. But here's the deal. What I also want to do, I want to make sure we bring along not just all the Democrats, we bring along Republicans who I know better. But what I want to do is I'm trying to bring the country together. And I don't want the debate to only be about whether or not we have a filibuster or exceptions to the filibuster or going back to the way the filibuster had to be used before.
But isn't that the only way you're going to get it done right now?
No, I don't believe that. I think we can get it done.
If you agree with the former president, he has called your as you call him, your old boss, that it is a relic of Jim Crow.
It is.
If it's a relic of Jim Crow, it's been used to fight against civil rights legislation historically. Why protect it?
There's no reason to protect it other than you're going to throw the entire Congress into chaos and nothing will get done.
All right.
Nothing at all will get done.
All right. Here is Joe Biden just being completely delusional. And you know what? I think he knows better, but he's trying to play this role of appearing bipartisan when all he is doing is helping Republicans. So part of the Republican project for decades has been to restrict voting rights, largely voting rights for the black community and young people. So why the hell would Republicans work with Democrats to pass voting rights when restricting voting rights for the black community and young people helps Republican politicians win races? So this is just completely delusional, and there is no reason at all to continue trying to placate these dishonest actors on the right. They do not want to help you pass anything that's actually going to help people, because they want to be able to run in the midterms. They want to be able to say that, look, Democrats got in power and they got nothing done. That's going to help them win seats back in 2022. So why are they going to help you pass anything? To continue playing this game. I mean, how long have Democrats been doing this now? Continuing to pretend that Republicans care. And let's be real here. Those Democrats, many making that argument, also know they are full of shit. But they also don't care all that much about these actual issues, really only sitting there to represent the corporate interests that back them. So they have no real interest to really pass anything that's actually going to help people either. So this is just, and then they go and hide up behind Republicans, when in reality, right now, Democrats have power. They have the Senate. Yes, it's 50 votes, but they can pass a lot through budget reconciliation or get rid of the filibuster and pass anything they want. But they are still refusing not to continue trying to pretend that they can work with the right, which is just completely insane. Let's get now to the next clip, which is the ugly. So I'm sorry, but we can't ignore what you're about to watch here.
Just like the other question that's illogical, and I've heard you speak about it because I'm not being solicitous, but you're always straight up about what you're doing. Yeah. And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where you are. Why can't the experts say we know that this virus is in fact it's going to be, or excuse me, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved, but permanently approved. Yeah. That's underway too. I expect that to occur quickly.
Well, that means you mean for the FDA?
All right. Joe Biden is struggling. Now, look, everyone has those moments. Of course, I'm sure I've had moments like that, but it is all the time with Joe Biden. He has a hard time getting through any sentence. He has a hard time getting through a single thought. It's unfortunate, but we have to acknowledge this and understand that this man obviously cannot run in 2024. That it's either going to be, they're going to attempt to put Kamala Harris in his place as the presumed nominee in 2024. But the reality is, we need somebody on the left to primary whoever may run in 2024, be it Biden or Kamala Harris. So this is a discussion that I know, still really early, but if you want to actually have a potential here of the left seeing a victory in terms of a primary win in 2024 and going on to become president, this is the kind of thing you have to start talking about and thinking about now. Because whatever name is put out there, they have to be able to gain attention over the course of the next several years to the point where they are a real challenger to either Biden or Kamala Harris. Because this man, clearly, I don't think can go another, 7 years. So there you go. That is the CNN town hall. And again, I do think this is kind of a good representation of Biden's first 6 months as a whole. There's been some good rhetoric in there without any real weight behind it. This continued assumption that Republicans are going to want to work with you or care at all about passing anything. And then, of course, Biden having his endless issues trying to get through thoughts or sentences. And again, something that we should be thinking about if we're going to primary this man or Kamala Harris in 2024.